So, as we discuss where white people came from, why discuss this? Well, because this is very important to world history. So you understand this is very important to world history and universal history, galactic history. And I want to touch on these things because these are the answers to things that no one truly wants to talk about. Is you wind up sounding like a racist or something. But we're going to talk on two different races. The white race, and we're going to talk about the black race. And the reason we're going to do that is those are the two polars, right? The two poles, right? Everything else falls in between. We want to talk about the Bible because the Bible gives you the answers to it all. And we want to talk about aliens so that you know what's going on. So we'll get back to the white race. Let's touch the Bible. So actually, we won't change anything. So when the white race left its inhabitants, its habitat in what some may call Europe, but we'll say further up in there, they had to get in tune with what the world was on. And so there was a book put together strictly for them. We call it the Bible, the Torah. These books were put together for white people so that they could understand how to interact with the rest of the earth and the beings of the earth. Because since they had been exiled by the powers that were at the time, they had been exiled. They were left to their own minds and their own way of forming their community, and how they would have dealt with things may not have been how the rest of the earth dealt with things. So they had to be educated on what the laws of the earth were at the time that they began to come out of the mountains and interact and intermingle with the rest of their earthly counterparts. And so the book of Adam and Eve, the book of Genesis, is giving you the story of the white race. It's not giving you the story of the brown race and black race. This is all about the white race. Because it was the white race that needed to be educated and uplifted to a level of their worldly, their earthly brothers, being that they were in caves and in these treacherous environments. They lived as if they had to deal with treachery, while the rest of the earth was dealing with, this beautiful heavenly place. So they were given the Bible. The Bible gave an outline, a blueprint of laws to be followed so that they could mingle and sooner or later subdue it. This thing we call earth. The Bible was not written for or by black people or brown people. It was written by the very intelligent elders of the white race who had already made their way out of the mountain prior to the entire civilization of the white race coming out of the mountains. They had already came out here and they knew what their people would need. And so they gave them a blueprint, a guide called the Torah. and everything else comes after. Now, it's used to understand the metaphysical world. It's used to understand spiritual things. But for a long time, it was used to understand the literal world, the world, and how the world operated. Yes, a lot of what is in the Bible was taken from other places. Why was it taken from other places and put into this one book? So that the white people could have a guide that could be considered earthly and not just local to whatever area they may have been in at the time. That book, the Torah, is based off of civilizational history and civilizational morals. Civilizations from India, from China, from Africa, from wherever there was a multitude of people interacting with different cultures. So certain stories you'll find from Egypt in the Bible, certain stories you'll find from India in the Bible on purpose, but watered down to the point to where everything isn't given away. Why isn't it given away? Just laid plain out. This is what we found in India. This is how you should work. Well, because you would have to start answering more questions. You have to make it a holy book so that it can be upheld as such, as opposed to making it a historical book. If it's a holy book, it has more value than a historical book. It pertains to the gods and to your creator as opposed to your government and your community. So it was made a holy book to empower it. And so everything's not just laid out cookie cut. But for those that know, they have the ability to decipher it and use it for other things beyond becoming in tune with the world community and being in tune with laws that govern the world community. If you read it accordingly and you read it right, you can use it to master the world community. But that's neither here nor there at this point. So we've touched on white people. We're touching on the Bible that is a book strictly for the improvement and upliftment of the white race.